Hello everyone, Shawn, Kenney here, and today I'm playing some Godus, the latest game from Peter Molyneux, the creator of God games, from Populous. He created Dungeon Keeper, some great games from Bulldog, the early games. Then moved on to founded Lionhead Studios, created the Black and White series, the Fabled series. Whether there's certainly some controversy around some of his titles. He definitely tends to overpromise and underdeliver in some cases. I was, a huge fan of Black and White. I was believing all the hype. I was, this virtual creature that you're going to care for as sort of a god, and you're manipulating the world. It was a great concept. I mean, I still like the game, but it definitely fell short in some aspects. But this is new. This is a return to Populous, the original in God games, Godus. So let's give it a try. Honestly, it came out last night. I was going to do sort of like a blind playthrough, and started getting into it, seeing if see how it was all going to work, and I stayed up till about 4 o'clock in the morning playing it, and I had to wipe my file. And it was a hard thing to do, but I wanted to start from the beginning for you guys. So let's get right into it. So it is beta. When it's loading up, it says this is about what they're thinking is 40% of the complete game. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I've already got really stuck in, and I know for the next probably a week I am going to be playing this until I've got as much out of it as I can. So far I'm really liking it. Got the menu screen. There's a really basic options at this point. Some sound effects. You can set. You have a few resolutions. Obviously there's going to be tweaking. As it comes to this, you can't map. Now, I just found this out. Like I was wondering, there's no rotate. At least it's not mouse map to mouse, the mouse button or the. I like using the mouse wheel. Press that down to rotate, which is kind of convention. So I figure hopefully that's in the 60% that they're still working on. It does allow you to go in and edit the keyboard.txt to configure your keys. So if you really do want to remap these, but for the most part, I'm quite happy with it. Just using ASDW to pan the camera around, and I've just, as I've recently learned, hold down Shift and A and D to rotate. So that should give us our full controls. There's a little bit of how to play, but we'll be going through that. It's a little nebulous at first, because honestly, doing the blind playthrough, I was started off, and the first 10 minutes I was just, what the heck am I doing? What are these guys doing? They're going to sit here and break down the buildings. Basically, the way this is going to be working is we want to clear space for our guys to build houses, and we can help them out by clicking on the rock. Now this is going to start the game, and we're going to get our first card, which is how this game handles giving us resources, upgrades. It's a little odd at first, but after starting to play it a little while last night, I'm starting to see how it works, and I'm kind of liking it. It's interesting. So you have a scrapbook here, and this is where we're going to be collecting our cards. We're going to be finding cards all over the place. Now, this is basically starting off. It's going to be telling us the history of our people, and I tell you, just the scope of going, from all I was playing, for playing until about 4 o'clock in the morning last night, I think I maybe got into the growth period. This game could be absolutely huge, and the fact that it's going to space age, I mean, anything with space, I'm sold. I have to play this game to get to the space age, just to see what's out there for the space age. That's just who I am. I gotta do it. So, we got our first card for spirituality, and the way this is going to work is we need to to get to the next level of development, we'll need to fill in all these other cards. So we need society, science, and faith. And we don't have anything like that. And each one of these cards, or like the society and the science and the faith, is going to require sort of sub-cards. So we'll get resource cards that fill in this big card, and once we have that maxed out, then we'll actually get access to it, is the way it's going to work. So that was really nebulous for me at first. So I'm, that's the way it's going to be working. So let's see here. We've cleared enough space for our villagers to make their first house. Now we have no control. If we click on our villagers, we can increase their health, max out their health, basically. They just get the plus 100 there, so that's just gives them 100 health, I guess. We have really limited control. This is our force, our magic, or god power, whatever you want to call it, magic or mana. That's just our menu here. Oh, and we've built our first house, and so there we've gotten our first card, which is a land expansion. So you'll see, there we go. Okay, so as we get those land expansion cards, that's going to allow us to, as you can see, it expands the area of our influence. Right out here, we have no control. Within this area, we can basically have the control to click on rocks to destroy them, and we also have or trees. Now, I don't want to do a whole lot. I don't want to take out a whole lot of trees for some reasons that will come clear later on. Playing through, I kind of did initially that, just cleared house and made as much room as possible for my guys to build houses. So destroying trees and rocks will give you a little bit of magic or force. Manipulating the terrain will cost it. So I want the guys to be able to get up there. They can basically only get up one of these terrain layers. So I want a nice. I'm going to carve out a nice little step for them. But it does go a little bit too far sometimes. And we have our house beeping there, so that'll do. Okay. So that'll be enough. We've cleared enough space for a few more houses. So if we click on here, our houses will start generating force every so often. And when they have the flag up like that, that means the house is full. If you hold down the right mouse button, it'll start giving you some information. So the top one there is in 30 seconds it's going to generate another person. And a minute and 40 seconds it'll generate some more force. And right now there's 2 people living in the house out of a possible 3. And that's kind of the way it works. You want to only get people out of here. The people will die if they don't live in a house. So I only want to get people out of the house, click on the flag, as you will, when I have a building for them to go build and then live in. As you can see, the person that was building this house built the house and then is now living in it. So there's 1 person out of 3. Apparently they're going to have kids with themselves, and in about 2 minutes we'll get another person, and then as the time elapses, we'll get the 3rd person, the flag will go up, and then we can click on it. See, when there's only 2 people, I can left click on the house, but no one will come out. So here we go. And that's the way expansion kind of works in this game. Expansion, if you're familiar with sort of black and white, if you're thinking it, I was sort of thinking along those lines, as in, well, if I build houses out here, then my sphere of influence will improve. Well, not exactly. You have to find cards, unlock cards to level up, get the next expansion. So as you can see here, that looks like a chest, so we're going to have to improve our influence, which is at this point mostly by leveling up. So here we go. Once again we got the expansion card. So there we go. We got a little bit more area to expand into. Now the one thing I want to do is try and I don't want to destroy that tree. I'm trying to think. Actually, I think I can only make small houses at this point. Trying to build efficiently, I've learned, is really the strategy to this game. What I've learned early on is you don't want people just sort of hanging out. Like I have spaces to build, so I'll get these guys out to start building them. But once the area is clear and I have as many houses in the area and they start popping up with all the flags, I don't want to start clicking on them right away. I want to just keep them in there until I have a place for them to go. Otherwise, what will happen is they'll wander around, they'll get sick, and they'll die. And when they die, you lose 50 magic force. I guess I got to figure out what I'm going to call it. So I'm going to call it force. So it looks like, yeah, those two guys that we're building, so they've gone and moved into that house, right? So we have a few more slots available. Basically, the next level is to get 2 more people. It's really, I got to give it, like, the tactile nature of this game is really quite nice. When you click on your force, you get tones. As you'll see, we'll get lots more houses, and as you're sort of clicking force, it's playing music. It's really, if you like the sort of slow, contemplative game, you're probably going to like this game. So there we go. We're up at 10. Smart sculpting. Double click, left click, mouse. This is great. This is now. There's 2 ways to basically move terrain. You can like just left click and drag. And you can, that works to a certain degree. Or now we've unlocked, I can double left click and it'll expand, or I can double right click and it'll drop the layer. If I double right click there, it'll drop the layer. If I just keep double right clicking, it'll start sculpting down and make a pit. So I actually do want to expand the territory. And this is great because now you can destroy buildings if I'm sculpting using the left just like that. See, if I drag that in, it'll start destroying that house. But if I double left click, I can expand it. It'll expand to the point where it won't start destroying the house, which is a great little feature. Okay, so I've sort of expanded. Let's expand some area so we can build more houses, is what we want to do. Okay, and so I'm out of force. You can hear that? The little tones? Nice little tactile touches like that really do lend to this game. I mean, it is nice. It is, like I said, it's a slow game, and there's going to be periods in this game where I'm pretty much just waiting to gather up enough force to expand enough territory to build enough houses to get to the next levels. So there may be periods where I'll skip ahead, but I'm not really doing much of anything other than just sort of waiting for force to gather. So as you can see, you got 25 force now. Now sending people out, that's costing 5 force. So you got to recognize that. So we're going to send people out to start building more houses. We'll be able to expand our little settlement. This is where we start life. We're at the end of a little island. Looks like there's something interesting there. Some floating. That usually indicates that we're getting near. That might be a treasure there. So I think this is a good place to call it. We'll call this video at the end here, and I'll pick it up in the next episode. So I'm Shawn Kenney. This is playing Godus. Thanks for watching. So long for now.